My name is Frank Christensen, and I'm the coordinator of officials for IFAF in Europe. This is the second of 5 training tapes dealing with defensive pass interference. Today's category is grabbing an arm. So we'll have a look at what is too much and what is a foul and how to recognize it on the field. But before we get to the game film, let's have a look to see what the rulebook and the MOFO have to say on this topic. In the rulebook, we go to Rule 738, Defensive Pass Interference. C. Defensive pass interference is contact beyond the neutral zone by a Team B player whose intent to impede an eligible opponent is obvious and could prevent the opponent the opportunity of receiving a catchable forward pass. When in question, a legal forward pass is catchable. Defensive pass interference occurs only after a legal forward pass is thrown. It is not pass interference 1. When, after the snap, opposing players immediately charge and establish contact with opponents at a point that is within 1 yard beyond the neutral zone. 2. When 2 or more eligible players are making a simultaneous and bona fide attempt to reach, catch, or bat the pass. Eligible players of either team have equal rights to the ball. 3. When a Team B player legally contacts an opponent before the pass is thrown. And finally, 4. When there is contact by a Team B player that otherwise would be pass interference during a down in which a Team A potential kicker from scrimmage kick formation simulates a scrimmage kick by throwing the ball high and deep. In the MOFO, we go to 3-3 contact fouls. 8. Defensive pass interference. A. Actions that constitute defensive pass interference include 1. Not playing the ball. Early contact by a defender who is not playing the ball that impedes or restricts the receiver's opportunity to make the catch. 2. Playing through an opponent. Playing through the receiver, that means contacting him in the back or on the side of him furthest from the ball, even if attempting to play the ball. And 3, grabbing an arm, which is the focus of this training tape. Grabbing the receiver's arm in a manner that restricts his opportunity to catch a pass. 4, armbar, extending an arm across the receiver's body to impede his ability to catch the pass, whether or not the defender is playing the ball. 5, cutoff, cutting off or riding a receiver out of the path to the ball by making contact with him without playing the ball. That means before the defender looks for the ball. And finally, 6, hook and turn, hooking a receiver around the waist that causes his body to turn prior to or even slightly after the ball arriving, even if the defender is trying to get to the ball. B. Actions that do not constitute defensive pass interference include 1. Incidental contact by a defender's hands, arms, or body in the act of moving to the ball that does not materially affect the route of the receiver. If in doubt as to whether the route was materially affected, there is no interference. 2. Inadvertent tangling of feet when both or neither players are playing the ball. 3. Contact that occurs during a pass that is clearly uncatchable by the involved players. 4. Laying a hand on the receiver that does not turn or impede him until after the ball has arrived. 5. Contact on a Hail Mary pass unless it is clear and conspicuous pass interference. C. Further notes. 1. A stationary player in position to catch the ball who is displaced from his position has been fouled. 2. It is never pass interference if the defensive player touches the ball before contacting the opponent. 3. Interference must be conspicuous to be called. 4. Remember that the defense has as much right to the ball as the offense. 5. It is crucial to identify which players are playing the ball and which are not. 6. Normally, an offensive receiver will try to catch the ball with two hands. Often, a defender will try to bat or deflect the ball with only one hand. If the defender goes up with only one hand, know what the other one is doing. 7. When judging whether a pass is catchable, imagine how far the receiver could have run and how high or wide he could have jumped if he had not been impeded. And finally, 8. There is no foul when contact is simultaneous with the ball being touched, the bang-bang situation. When in doubt, contact is simultaneous with the ball being touched. And that was the theory. Now, let's have a look at some game film. In this first play, we're looking at the receiver closest to the screen, or rather, we're looking at the cornerback because he is the one who's going to grab an arm. And initially, there's some hand fighting there. That's fine, but right there, he grabs the arm, the receiver's inside arm, and that is why, and this is the indicator for us, the receiver is trying to get to the ball with one hand, and they usually don't do that. Typically when that happens, it's because the other arm is grabbed from the inside. And even though this is a deep wing key, you know, the back judge actually ends up with the best angle to this. He is also the one who has the flag. And for the back judge right now, he should be moving away from his original key and coming over to these two players, and he should have plenty of time, which he does here too. Does a good job of getting over and seeing that arm being grabbed, and has a good flag, even though the back judge or the deep wing can't see it. On this play, we're looking at the middle linebacker and the receiver coming in, crossing from the bottom of the screen. So here comes the receiver, and right there is the contact. Now the contact in itself is legal right there, but it does appear, just by the way the receiver moves his upper body, it does look like his arm is being grabbed. Now the timing is very critical here, because right here is the contact, and there the ball is being thrown. And if we don't really know what happened first, the pass or the contact, if we don't really know if the ball is in the air when the contact happens, we're best off leaving it alone. But certainly, so this is a good no call. But certainly, had the ball been in the air here, this would be a clear-cut case for an arm grab and a DPI. On this play, we're looking at the receiver at the top of the screen. He's going to go on a post pattern, and he does disappear, but he gets back, and right there you can see the contact, and there the ball hasn't arrived yet, and you see clear contact with that outside arm across the chest, and also grabbing the outside arm right there. Slightly before the ball gets there. So there's clear contact, intent to impede, early contact, and this was correctly called should be called by the deep wing, also called by the back judge here, and correctly so, because this is something that we cannot let go. This is too much, and this is a defensive pass interference arm grab. On this play, we're looking at the receiver at the top of the screen, the outside, and the deep wing key. And right there is the contact. Now, right there is the arm being grabbed as the ball is getting there. So the ball is clearly in the air. The receiver's one of her arms is being ripped away, and that is clearly part of why the ball falls incomplete. Now, in terms of who should call this, that could be very, very difficult for the primary key, the deep wing, to see that. So it's a good job by this short wing, who probably has the best angle to see this, and if the back judge gets a look at it, certainly could and should call this also. I wouldn't be surprised if the back judge has a difficult time seeing this, simply because the white receiver, the receiver's body, is in the way. But if you do see it, feel free to call it. Now, if you want to call it, please go ahead and throw your flag overhand. It's just a more accurate flag that way. But good job by the deep wing, or by the wing. On this last play, we're looking at the receiver at the top of the screen, so away from the camera, and I think we can agree that this is a fairly now, it's never funny when players foul, but this is almost funny. If they were only all this big, it would be easier to be an official. But certainly there is an arm grab right there, and you know, you might even argue that this is a smart play by the defender, because this probably would have gone for a touchdown had he not grabbed. But certainly this is a defensive pass interference for an arm grab. And that was this training tape. I hope you found something you can use on the field.